We are back to dry on radar for now, but more wet weather to come to wrap up the week and into the weekend. We'll time that out and update you on rainfall amounts in First Warning Weather.
President-elect Donald Trump's plan to make the federal government more efficient taking center stage today. What could be on the chopping block and why he looped an Austin-based tech billionaire into today's conversation.
Well, we start this afternoon with a live look at downtown Austin, where it's a cloudy and cold day in the city. And our First Warning Weather team is forecasting even colder days ahead.
And Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannon says temperatures are heading for their coldest highs since February. You might not feel it right now, but we will over the coming days.
Yeah, it's going to get noticeably colder here tonight and tomorrow, but the coldest day now looks to be Saturday, where high temperatures may not get out of the 40s. Ooh. So it's a bundle up day for sure on Saturday and tomorrow. Let's take you out to what's happening right now. Temperatures across Central Texas, mostly in the mid to upper 50s. There's a few spots near 60, which is cool, yes, just nothing like the type of cold that is on the way for your Friday and Saturday. We're getting some chillier air thanks to technically two cold fronts that have moved through today. One real early this morning and one here during the afternoon, providing a reinforcing shot of chilly air out of the north and northeast, blowing the wind 5 to 15 miles per hour. And this will help take our temperatures down here tonight. It's also brought in temporarily drier air. So the drizzle that we had plenty of this morning has dried up, but we still have plenty of clouds across the area. And these clouds are basically going nowhere. So here's your evening. 55 and cloudy here at 7, 53 at 9. We're already down into the 40s here at 11 o'clock tonight. But if you do have Thursday evening plans, they at least should be dry. Here's what's coming up in First Warning Weather. We'll track those coldest highs since the end of last winter. Periods of chilly rain and storms as we wrap up the weekend into the weekend, and some wild temperature changes, not just this weekend, but into next week.
Nick, thank you so much. Although it's a drier forecast now, when it comes to rainfall here in the city of Austin, sometimes you can have too much of a good thing. More than 7,000 buildings and 400 roads are prone to flooding. That's according to the city's Watershed Protection Department.
So that's why the city created the Flood Early Warning System. This is a project years in the making that includes tools ranging from high-tech infrastructure improvements to a camera network that you can access from your phone right now. Grace Reeder takes an in-depth look.
Over the past few years, the city of Austin has been working with the community on a new strategic plan called Rain to River. Through that plan, the Watershed Protection Department says Austinites want flood protection to be a top priority.
Flooding is an existential thing that happens in Austin all the time. And with climate change, there's a little bit more additional anxiety amongst our community.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. When will it happen again?
Businesses along North Lamar were among the hardest hit. The Henry Moore Subaru dealership was demolished. Its cars tossed about like toys. The Lewis Shanks store filled with water, and furniture flowed out through the windows.
6 feet, 7 feet of water. Everything's gone.
Since this flood in 1981, which killed more than a dozen people, the city of Austin has made changes to how it prepares for floods, including the creation of the Flood Early Warning System, or FEWS. That's a team of experts who can alert the public and emergency responders about potential flooding. They've got tools like rain and stream gauges, cameras, automatic traffic gates, and flashing beacons. They're also the team behind this website, which you may be familiar with, ATX Floods.
We ask our residents to go look at it. It's a live program. When it rains, we actually offer live updates on which crossings are closed, where there's rainfall. It's a really very good site for residents to go look at.
The hope is that you check it out and prepare for flooding before it hits.
We are trying to do everything we can, but the community has a role to play. So we would really love for them to be part of it. Go to atxfloodsafety.com. There are many useful links there to be prepared.
Grace Reeder, KXAN News.
One possible change that's coming, the FEWS program currently includes 16 flashing beacons at low water crossings. The city is studying whether it needs to add additional signs right now. Going in depth, Council member Vanessa Fuentes authored a resolution earlier this year asking the Watershed Protection District to look at making flood insurance more accessible. The City Council also passed a pilot program that helps lower income homeowners purchase federal flood insurance. Those resolutions are both in the works.
We have some breaking news right now out of Round Rock. Police are currently responding to a robbery at Vera Bank on East Palm Valley Boulevard. Round Rock police say there is no suspect in custody. They're going to provide more updates, they say, on social media. Today marks 1 year since a Central Texas shooting spree left 6 people dead and 3 others hurt. The string of violent incidents started in Bexar County before the suspect made his way to Austin. The suspect, Shane James, was deemed mentally incompetent to stand trial last month. He faces multiple charges of capital murder. James is now at a facility for mental health treatment. The judge ordered James be evaluated in about 4 months to figure out if he poses a threat to himself or others, or if he should continue treatment. Well, we told you last night the Austin Police Association is calling on APD officers to stop responding to mental health calls. Now, this comes after a judge sentenced former officer Christopher Taylor to 2 years in prison following a police shooting. Well, tonight on KXAN News at 6, our Brianna Hollis digs into the current protocols in place and breaks down the details of the Police Association's recommendation.
Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy visited Capitol Hill today. The two men were asked to brainstorm how to improve government efficiency, but questions swirl over possible conflicts of interest involving government contracts. As NBC's Alice Barr reports, this comes as President-elect Donald Trump's pick for defense secretary doubles down on his commitment to the Senate confirmation process.
Lawmakers welcoming Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy to Capitol Hill today to start talking about plans to slash the federal government by up to $2 trillion, according to Musk.
This government is too big, it does too many things, and it does almost nothing well.
President-elect Trump tapped Musk and Ramaswamy to head up a new Department of Government Efficiency, an outside-of-government advisory commission with the goal of dramatically downsizing the federal workforce, dismantling bureaucracy, and chopping regulations.
Everything is in scope for what counts as government efficiency. It's not one part of the federal government or the other.
Congress has to approve any cuts, and the businessmen will have to navigate lawmakers' attachments to programs their constituents count on. Questions, too, about potential conflicts of interest concerning government contracts and subsidies to Musk's companies Starlink and Tesla.
Those sorts of things should instruct the priorities, because that would produce headwinds and not make it a top priority.
Also on the Hill today, President-elect Trump's embattled pick for Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, meeting again with senators and countering allegations about his treatment of women and history with alcohol.
I'm here with the support of President Donald Trump. As long as he supports me, which he told me this morning, I'll be here.
Two sources familiar tell NBC News the president-elect is weighing alternatives, including Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, also a veteran. She met with Hegseth yesterday.
For a number of our senators, they want to make sure that any allegations have been cleared.
Personnel and policy hurdles as the Trump transition pushes ahead. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
The Senate confirmation process for administration picks won't formally begin until next year with the next Congress. This Congress still needs to tackle a government funding deadline just 2 weeks away to prevent a shutdown.
A Central Texas county making moves to one day serve as a beacon of hope and safety when disaster strikes the Lone Star State.
A tale of two faraway cities forged together in a bond of sisterhood. The Irish city reaching across the ocean to foster a blossoming relationship with Austin. The cities of Austin, Texas and Limerick, Ireland took a big step in their relationship today by solidifying their status as sister cities. This afternoon, a band of Irish expats filled the air of Austin City Hall with music from Ireland in celebration of the new agreement. Limerick Mayor John Moran, Council General Robert Hull and Austin Mayor Kirk Watson participated in a signing ceremony to officially establish Limerick and Austin as sister cities.
This is a special moment when Austin and Limerick embark on a true sister city relationship. We look forward to strengthening the ties that we have had with Limerick from a friendship city to now a sister city.
The two cities started taking steps toward the agreement in January 2019 when elected officials signed a memorandum of understanding, and that memorandum aim to strengthen the links between their cities. Going in depth on this, Limerick will become Austin's 13th sister city. The capital of Texas has signed the agreement with cities as close as Mexico and Peru to as far away as Australia and Japan. According to the City of Austin's website, the Sister Cities program, quote, fosters friendly relations and understanding between the city's citizens of Austin and our sister cities around the world. The program also establishes Austin's cultural and economic presence throughout the global community.
Well, Honda is recalling more than 200,000 newer SUVs. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says a tube and a pipe could separate, causing a fuel leak. The automaker is recalling some Passport and Pilot vehicles from model years 2023 to 2025. The agency says if your car is included in the recall, the dealers will inspect and make any repairs for free.
Temperatures today, technically warmer than yesterday by 1 degree in Austin. We got to 60, normal is 66. But things are about to get a whole lot colder and much wetter too. We'll update you on the rainfall projections and amounts and what it does to your weekend in First Warning Weather.
In Luling, southeast of Austin, officials broke ground on a 45,000 square foot evacuation center. Once completed, the refuge will offer 360 beds to people who are fleeing disaster.
Sam Stark learned that the center will be a crucial space, not only for those living in Caldwell County, but for people across Texas.
A muddy field now, but in under 2 years, it'll transform into a sanctuary for people in need, both near and far.
We do not have an evacuation center anywhere near here. It really became apparent that we needed one during Harvey because there were so many people coming this way seeking shelter, and there just wasn't anywhere to put them all.
The project has become a reality thanks to a grant from the Texas General Land Office. And with Caldwell County having some significant natural disasters in recent years, funding the $22 million project seemed appropriate.
Here in Caldwell County, we've had 11 federally declared disasters in the last 10 years, and so there's definitely a need.
There really is a need in this area for a facility such as this that's going to be able to meet the residents' need in the time of evacuation, in the time of emergency.
Local county and state officials came to celebrate that partnership Thursday by breaking ground at the project site.
From wildfire to flooding, tornadoes, you got to have a place that can house and be accessible to the folks who need it in a quick time.
In Caldwell County, Sam Stark, KXAN News.
And the center will be used for more than emergencies. The building will also function as a community center where Caldwell County will also host some large events.
Okay, I don't know about you all. I'm enjoying these temperatures.
I love
Daniel?
it. Yep.
Okay, you like it? Okay, you approve?
Yeah, I mean, we had a little bit of fall, but now we're feeling a little more like winter and actually colder than we should be for early December, but that's fine for many of us, including you guys, apparently. Yes. Let's take it outside to Liberty Hill from our Whittlesey Landscape Supplies weather camera there. Actually a cool looking shot with a lot of clouds, but just enough break in the clouds there to give us a nice looking shot here before the sun sets. We're still in that window, by the way, of the earliest sunsets of the whole year. That's at 5:30. So this is the view there in Liberty Hill. There's two big weather stories over the coming days. The first one is the temperature plunge. The next one is the rain. We'll talk about the temperatures first. Right now we're at 58 in Austin. Technically, two cold fronts move through today. One early in the morning, one during the afternoon, and that will reinforce the chillier air that'll come in our way from the north. You'll see these temperatures falling here tonight so that when we start off your morning tomorrow, it'll be much chillier than this morning with low 40s and upper 30s. And we're not going to warm as much as we did today. Not that we warmed a lot, but we got to 60 today. Tomorrow I expect low to even some mid 50s, especially east of 35. But look at the high temperatures in the hill country tomorrow. May not get out of the 40s. And then we keep cooling off into your Saturday morning with widespread 40s. But here's the thing, with a lot of clouds on Saturday and rounds of rain and storms, we're just not going to warm up much. I think we don't get out of the 40s now on Saturday. So we have cooled our expectations for high temperatures on Saturday. A lot of clouds over us right now. The air near the ground has dried out, which is why the drizzle has ended temporarily. But there's going to be more moisture coming our way from the south and west. And as we head, not tonight, but through the day tomorrow, we'll get increasingly wet. I do think the morning is looking dry here for your Friday. Still a lot of clouds, though. But then as we get into your Friday afternoon, scattered showers and perhaps some isolated thunderstorms start to roll in. Coverage is only going to get about half of the area some wet weather, and for some of you it may not arrive until tomorrow evening, but there'll be some showers around and some isolated storms. But the wettest weather comes Saturday, and it looks like Saturday morning will be wetter than the afternoon, with fairly widespread rain and storms, and then some periods of wet weather do continue into the afternoon and into the evening. Then our final round of rain comes Sunday morning before that clears away by Sunday midday and into the afternoon. So tonight is dry, cloudy and cool. We drop down to 40 with a chilly wind out of the north. Half of the area gets measurable rain by tomorrow night. 53 your high, so a chilly day. And then we get even wetter here for Saturday and cooler too, that high of 49. Our coldest high temperature since the final day of February of earlier this year. So we're cold and wet with on and off rain and storms Saturday. Sunday, showers and storms in the morning and then drier in the afternoon. Still thinking most areas get a 1/4 inch to an inch through Sunday. We've tweaked the areas that should get the 1 to 2 inches and sort of pivoted it a little bit to the northeast. So less so for you in Bastrop and Fayette counties, but still thinking parts of Lee and Milam County get that 1 to 2 inch amount. So it's not a lot of rain, but it's some. Then we get another cold front late Monday. Ahead of it, 78. Behind it, low 60s, and our nighttime lows get to be some of the coldest of the season. Mid-30s Wednesday and Thursday morning in Austin will likely mean a widespread freeze for parts of the hill country next Wednesday and Thursday morning. Still, we'll get more sunshine Monday and most of next week. And it will be drier too, but turning chillier.
All right, Nick, thank you so much. We would like to share stories of inspiring women here in Central Texas. You can go to KXAN.com to nominate someone from your community. Look for the Remarkable Women tab on our homepage. Our local winner will then travel to LA, where 125 women from around the nation will be honored. The national winner will get $25,000 that will go towards a nonprofit of her choice. You can send in your nominations now. We are taking those until December 20th. We'll be right back.
And coming up, a small step backwards into a frantic race to the stars. The delay announced today as American scientists fight to win a modern-day space race.
We're not going to be able to stop the flood that is about to come.
How a program meant to help America's farmers may now threaten our food chain and our farmers' livelihoods. Growing Broke, Saturday at 9/8 Central, only on News Nation. To find News Nation on your screen, go to newsnationnow.com.
Fans of space exploration will have to wait a little longer to see the Artemis II mission take flight. NASA is once again delaying the mission that will take 4 astronauts around the moon and back. The agency targeted September of next year for the mission, but NASA officials announced the launch of Artemis II will now take place in April 2026. NASA also announced Artemis III, the mission to land astronauts on the moon's surface, is delayed until mid-2027. The decision comes after an extensive investigation of a heat shield issue following a test flight in November 2022. According to NASA officials, the extra time is needed to ensure that the Orion capsule is ready and as safe as possible for the crew.
The safety of our astronauts is always first in our decisions. It is our North Star. We do not fly until we are ready. We do not fly until we are confident that we have made the flight as safe as possible for the humans on board.
The goal of the Artemis program is to return astronauts to the moon for the first time since 1972.
The price of Bitcoin topped $100,000 for the first time ever. The token's latest surge came in the hours after President-elect Donald Trump picked Paul Atkins to chair the Securities and Exchange Commission. Atkins is seen as a crypto-friendly pick for that position. Since November 5th, the price of Bitcoin has surged more than 45%, and year to date, prices have more than doubled. The six-figure mark is the latest lucrative milestone for the digital currency that emerged 15 years ago. Well, coming up tonight on KXAN at 7 o'clock, it's a Dr. Seuss classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, followed by Frosty the Snowman at 7:30. And then maybe send the kids to bed because at 8 o'clock, it's Law & Order SVU, followed by Found at 9 o'clock. And then we'll see you here for KXAN News at 10.
Okay, and then you can join us earlier for KXAN News at 9 o'clock on CW Austin. Here is where to find us.